Big Virgil, tell them about it.
How y'all doing? As you know, I'm the great grandmaster. We've got a lot of things going on in the next week or two. I watch Raw TV 101. It's going to be a lot of exciting things coming up.
3, 2, 1. Yes, today on the show, it's another very, actually the most specialist day because I got my unks with me today. And we all know he's a American icon, celebrity, millions of followers, So as usual, I'm going to have my co-host bring him in with some interesting questions for you guys.
Well, first of all, thank you guys for tuning in and for being here on this special occasion. To know more about you, and I'd like to know because Antonio was telling me you grew up in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. So I'm more interested about learning from you and what you think about the evolution of music throughout the years and how you've just kept yourself throughout those evolutions, because I'm pretty sure that you've met a lot of artists. I'm pretty sure you've just nudged hands with so many types of people, but I think, where are you from, what do you do, and more importantly, are you happy at this moment in your life?
Well, first of all, the first question, my name is Virgil Fairley. I'm known as the great grandmaster all around the world. I come out of Fresno, California, born and raised up until I left and started spreading my wings across country. I've been involved with a lot of entertainments. I went to school with the Whispers, as you know, WL and WC, and I've been interacting with a lot of stars and entertainers.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Unk's here, he's brushed shoulders with many from Omar Gooding to Mike Epps to you name it. Many celebrities, It just, the list goes on and on. If you name it, he probably brushed shoulders with them.
Yes. Well, for me, I like to get to know people in more of a deep and profound way. So my question to you is, what got you into music in the first place? Because there's so many artists out there that have their reasoning to why they got into music. I'd like to know yours.
First of all, I was in the street life back in the 70s. Actually, I started out in the 60s, but when I moved to Oakland, California in the 70s, I created a company called Northern California Theatrical Production, and I started booking entertainment from that moment, with some of the Lattimore, Bobby Blue Bland, and a lot of.
Wow, so you were a booking agent as well.
Yeah, I was. I had a whole office, whole staff, public relations, book accountant, the whole 9 yards.
Wow, so you're the guy to go to get mentored then, right?
Well, I rub shoulders with a lot of people. I'm connected, very well connected.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's one of his qualities. One of his qualities is he don't brag or boast about much, So,
you don't have to brag or boast, but that's the thing, is that if it comes with you throughout the years, you deserve to brag and boast. Those are things that you've earned throughout your lifetime, and you deserve that.
Well, all I can do is tell you like it is. I don't like to really play big old me, little old you, and boast all the time, but I just got to tell it like it is.
Yes, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, my son and my grandson is in the music. His name is Cali Cash. My grandson is caked up Will. I'm ready to push him into the music. So I've been doing the music for a long time. I just do it all across country.
That's amazing. If you could give any advice to people that are in the music sector, would you recommend them to be more into looking for a label, or do you think we're now in a time where we can just stay as independent artists and just push ourselves that way? Or is it really where, you got to have all this money and marketing and a team to really get you out there? Because don't get me wrong, a team helps, but do you think it's still accessible to people nowadays to be able to push themselves as independent artists now than before?
Like rolling the dice, like playing the lottery. You know, some win, and some take a long time, and some don't never get there. So it's just a roll of the dice, you know, all who you know and what your talent is all about.
That's very true. That is very so that I can keep that uniqueness to myself. Do you feel like any of that ever changed your style, or were you able to stay consistent with who you were in your calling?
But I was always confident and a rough rider. You know, I didn't take less for the best, and I didn't take no for an answer. So I drive real hard on whatever I do.
Amen.
You know,
Amen to that.
I know you ever heard of Kevin Black?
I have actually.
Okay, he's a very personal with me, family member that used to run Death Row Records back in the day when Snoop Dogg was getting in, and Suge Knight. And we're still in contact today. So I'm very well-rounded when it comes to rubbing shoulders with people that's connected.
That's amazing. Now, Antonio was telling me that around your music, you were also able to push out an entire business aspect of it and create something, a legacy, not just for yourself, but the people that have been around you. Would you mind telling the viewers what it is that you do on the entrepreneurship side?
Well, I have an office down in Stockton, California called Cutting Edge. And it's an umbrella of a variety of things, you know, can go any kind of direction that you want to. I've always been an entrepreneur, always thought outside the box. And by me being connected, the guys that went to college and very smart, they needed me because the things that they didn't know how to do, I could put it in place. So that's a win-win situation.
I always say that street smarts is like way better than book smarts. Like you can have the book smarts, but if you don't know how to implement it, it's like just random knowledge, you know?
Right.
I've met a lot of people back in the days because I have degrees, but I have always said this, and I know it sounds crazy, but I always said to people like you could have a master's degree and still be stupid. You could still not know nothing. But it's because it's that street grit that teaches us how to pursue something and how to really get that work in, you know. And what is it that you do specifically with your organization?
What I do specifically, I'm in the real estate. I got a clothing line and music and anything that I feel like that. See, I'm an entrepreneur, so it don't take me long to catch on to do things. You know, like I say, a lot of I got the common sense, and that's something hard to find. Everything that's is not common sense, is not common to some people. You know, so that's where the problem is. So that's my job, to keep everybody in a straight line. I might not have the book sense. They got that, but I got the other part. So when it connect together, it's a win-win situation.
Your nephew got that, so you know we're afraid a fair trade. You know, he lacing me up, and I'm here, you know, covering the other line. So it's all good. Let me mention that he has a song, 2 songs coming out, big songs with the artist Antonio Blue, who we all know, the pop artist who we're here with today. And the Silky guy, Silky. So him and Silky have one as well.
Yeah, Silky Slim.
Yeah, Silky Slim. So
nice.
You know, you guys could.
Well, I'm looking forward to listening to that. I'm looking forward to listening to that. Now,
like that.
If you don't mind me asking, what is the name of the brand? And is he allowed to just say the brand? That way people can go ahead and take a look at it, or your website where people can find you.
It's my family, man.
Promote yourself.
Yeah. He could do what he want.
Yeah, you're looking for my IG and my Facebook. That's where everything you can find.
Yes, that way people can follow you.
Yeah, my IG is.
I think that
my IG is Big Virgil Grandmaster.
Big Virgil Grandmaster. I'm gonna go follow you right now.
Yeah, you follow me. My Facebook is Ray, RayFairley. You keep up with everything I'm doing. I got
awesomeness.
Yeah.
Now, as far as your clothing line, as far as your clothing line, what is it that you specialize as far as the clothing line? Is it like more t-shirts or more what like you got right now? Because you got the get up right now. You looking like slim, sexy over here.
Okay, right on, right on. Yeah, I can pretty well put much together whatever a person wants. I have personal style that myself that nobody else can really copy that style, so it'd be pretty hard to keep up with my pace, you know. But something everybody got different tastes, so I try to fit wherever they feel like it's comfort for them. That's why I try to fit them at. You know,
So you customize clothing.
yeah, I got the tailor shops and everything.
Oh, wow. Do you do women's clothing as well, or is it just
Women,
mostly men?
Women as well.
Now, when you decide you want to customize specific clothing, whether it's for a man or for a woman, do you go based on the vision that you have in mind for that individual, or do you go based on what the client is telling you and says, you have this vision for this grand gown, and are you the one that's creating it? Because I'll be honest, you don't look like the type of guy that sews, okay?
No,
but I could be wrong.
I got the brain. I'm the brain. People works and they do the job.
Okay.
I'll do the work. I'll do the thinking.
Okay. I was about to say, I don't think you look like the seamstress type.
No. I'm only the brain.
I do want to let me interject, and then we get back to your questions. My co-host, my friend, my homie, my sister. Yeah, hey, yeah. So I want to ask Unks, you know, anything going on in the community, like as because I'm here with him at his house right now, being big old nice mansion, mini mansion. You know, so I want to know what we got going on in the community. If he needs me to do any nonprofits, I got the animal rescue. You know, I got my music blowing up. So, do you have anything going on here right now, or plans to do anything in the community, Unks?
Well, I take it a step at a time. I take it a day at a time. You know, whatever comes up, I can adjust it around wherever my thought is. Because like I say, I'm very well rounded. I'm connected. All I got to do is take it to the table and make it happen.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna. You guys could definitely look for us doing business out here in Sacramento. And then I want to also ask him, do he like books and movies? I know he's into you into entertainment. So how many books do you have, and how many movies do you have?
Well, I got a book. 2 books that's out. One is called Death is Not a Game. You got to read that one. Action pack all the way to the end. We getting ready to do a movie script on that one for the movies. Also, I got My Life Over the Top and From Inside Out. It's about my life. We're doing a movie on that one right now. They're getting ready to try to place it for the theaters. They hooked up with 50 Cent people in New York. So I step back out of and do the thing, you know.
So you're a published author as well.
Yeah, I'm a published author as well.
Wow.
Writer.
Okay, you selling yourself was way smaller than I thought you were. That is amazing. You need to put the links for the books, because I'm a reader. I love reading, and especially when it comes to people's biographies, I love knowing people's stories because it serves as an inspiration of where people have come from and where people could go. Oftentimes I realize that there's so many people out there that say, well, I wish I could do this and I wish I could do that. And in reality is anyone can do anything as long as they put their mind and focus and just sheer love into it. Now, can I ask you a personal question?
Go ahead.
How is the love life?
My love life? My love life is a master blaster. They tried, you might like it. I'll let you be queen for a day and have me for a night. If you like the night, you can have me forever.
Oh, that's beautiful. See, I love to hear these things. And over there, Antonio's smiling. He was not expecting me to ask that question now, were you?
Well, I was. You can't ask me that because I'm sitting here with Unc. So you said he's a mentor, right? So you know,
Yes.
I'm pretty much expecting anything. I put you on here for a reason in front of my Uncs. So now I do want to ask Uncs, how many ladies have you had at one time?
In which way?
Any way you want to share?
Well,
Oh
actually,
my, that's
I
scandalous.
always been a ladies' man, but I pick and choose. I don't let the women pick and choose me. I pick and choose. They got to
You're
qualify to
making
have
him
me.
sweat over there.
They got to
Look at that.
They got
You're
to
making him
qualify to have
sweat
me.
and nervous.
But I have had up at 19 before. I've had up to 19 when I was, doing my thing back
In
in
the
the day.
young days.
Yeah,
In the days.
I've had 11
Okay.
few times. Then had 7 a lot of times, 4, 3, and then I have 1 a few times. Just all depends on what time it is, But that's the thing in my past, I'm trying to push forward on something bigger, much better, and much sweeter.
Bigger, better.
Life come in elevations. You got to lift your life, lift your game, lift your whole game plan. It don't never stop.
Now, can I ask you another question in the fact that after knowing everything that you've gone through and doing all the things that you've done in your life, would you consider doing coaching for individuals and taking it a next step into that profession?
Well, I would consider it. All depends on the number. If the number's right, it's not a waste of time. We can talk about it.
That's good to know.
I can make an offer they cannot refuse. It's a win-win-win for everybody.
Amen to that. Now, what is it that is, because we're already in the third quarter of this year, what plans do you have to close off this year and say, I gave it my best and I gave it my all?
Well, plans don't never stop with me. It don't ever come to the end. I got tunnel vision when it comes to winning.
Same here.
Yeah, I don't strike out. I strike in. And you could get that book from Amazon.com. From the Inside Out and Death is Not a Game. Don't forget that.
From
Amazon.
the inside out.
Inside Out and Death is Not a Game. If you want to know all about me, read both those books. And you're going to.
I definitely will. I definitely will.
Yeah, you got to read them.
Oh, that is amazing. So you are a music producer, a music promoter, you are a custom tailor, entrepreneur, philanthropist. What else am I missing here?
Well, you can't miss with me. Yeah, one thing about it, you can't miss.
You're suave, aren't you?
And if you grab it, you'll make a wise choice.
It's very rare that I jump on a Zoom and someone makes me blush. It's rare.
Oh, really? I love to keep a smile on the young lady's face.
You are. Definitely are.
Intelligent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, Antonio, I have a question for you. Are there any other plans in the future to do with your uncle that people aren't aware of yet? Maybe in the year 2023, not in 2022, since we're already there. What are some plans that you have for each other?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you like he would tell you. They're gonna have to wait and see for that because we got a lot up our sleeve, and you always see us. You always see us, so just keep looking, tapping, because like he said earlier, you can't tell them everything now. They might not be ready for it now. So
yeah.
I mean,
you know what I am ready for, and I think I've told you this from the very beginning. That accessory collection, you got to come up with it at some point because I'm ready to buy that necklace you got on right now.
Right on, sis. Hey, I'm gonna ask Unks, has he ever lost anyone to drugs or liquor, and have you ever battled it?
I've been fighting people all my life for smoking cigarettes, drinking, drugs. I've been trying to save people from their negativity because I've never drank, smoked, done anything. I don't. Everybody in the world smoke weed, but I don't have it. I've always been a leader. I've never been a follower. I've never been a follow a trend. You know, I always had a mind of my own. So that makes me lead and try to help when I see people leading themselves out of self-destruction. I try to bring them out of that.
I completely concur with that, especially with what's going on in today's society. And we were having this conversation on the last podcast, and maybe this is the perfect time to jump into that as well and to go into further into that conversation, where there's a lot of music right now that is getting people to go out there and to go dance and to be quote unquote, or just slutty people, and to
In
sleep
their
around
lower,
with everyone,
in
to
their
do
lower
drugs, to
self. Yeah.
drink. Exactly. And the worst part is that these music videos have become not even artistic, it's more satanic and just ugly than anything. Is there anything that you would say about that music, how to stay away from it, how to, or what are your opinions on that?
You know, that's going to be real hard because people are looking for somebody to lead all the time, whether it's right or
Yeah.
wrong. The majority rules on everything. You know, just take for instance about the COVID. They know the COVID killing people, but the majority of the people made the government act right and stop wearing masks and everything. Right or wrong, they just gonna jump on the bandwagon. You know, they don't care because they're looking for somebody to lead. And if you can't grab the leaders of ignorance, you in trouble because the leaders of ignorance are the ones that's making everybody follow.
That is so true. That is so very true. I think that a lot of our youth nowadays are what need that molding to help them how to find themselves, especially today's youth. There's so many people out there that are so easily impressionable with what's
Exactly.
on television,
Yeah.
that they're losing themselves to ideals that aren't even real. They're caught in fantasies of what could be versus what is reality. And instead, by jumping into those fantasies, they get into situations where they get into drug addictions, they get into addictions to just drinking and killing themselves internally. If you could say anything to today's youth, what would you say, with all of your decades of knowledge in the music industry and in life itself, just in general? What would you say to people that are listening to you right now?
About which part? About their life or positive direction or what?
About all of it, following life and the direction of what people can do with themselves with the knowledge that you have. And because I often think to myself, like, maybe life really is shorter than we think it is. We have this idea that we are exponential human beings that will just outlive everything, and reality is that we're not. We're specks of dust in this world. And I personally feel like I try to give my love to everyone, but at the same time, I
You
have
don't
to
get it back.
know where to give it to.
Exactly.
Exactly.
See, let me explain one thing to you.
Yes.
Shark could grow 8 feet in a fish tank, but 80 feet in the ocean. If you're in that fish tank, you're in the surrounding of knowledge that's not going nowhere. You're only gonna have the knowledge what's in that fish tank. But when you get outside the box and got the ocean, it's worldwide where you can gain knowledge. So you're a victim of your surroundings. So if that's what you're around, that's far as it's gonna go. And the majority of poverty, that's where it stop at. It's only a selective few get outside of that. So it's going to create a problem all the time anyway. It's going to take lots of work.
That's very true. I hear feedback, but I've heard from many mentors that say if you are the biggest fish in the tank, then it's time to move to another tank or to move yourself out there. And I completely concur with that, because sometimes we get stuck in this mentality of we're the biggest dog here, but the reality is you just need to get to a bigger tank and evolve again and again. And we are humans of constant evolution. And I think you're a prime example of that, because you've evolved throughout all these years. Now, can I ask you something? What is it? Because I since you've lived through it, how do you see a difference between the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and now? And if you could take anything from back then that you would say, I'd like to bring this back, what would it be?
Well, it was more respect back then. The music was more genuine about life. It wasn't about imitating life, like you said a little while ago, faking your way through. A lot of them fake it to make it now. You know, you can't fake it, make it. You got to do this for real. And every generation, it's a generation gap. Every generation comes up something different. Next 10 years is going to be something different. You know, you catch kids used to respect parents. They wouldn't even smoke in front of parents. They get 12, 13 years old, they cussing in front of their parents now. We didn't have that back then. I ain't never said a cuss word ever in my life to my parents. But kids nowadays, they grown early, and it's the kids leading kids. You know, parents don't lead them; the kids lead them. So if the kids don't nothing for nothing leaves nothing. If the kids don't know anything, how's they gonna teach somebody else? So it's the ignorance leading the ignorance, and the ignorance is following. So
Wow. If you can find a way to mold that youth, or to figure out a way to help the communities with their minds, because I think nowadays, I think, because obviously we live in the United States, we live in a very prosperous country where literally anybody can make their dreams come true if they chose to. It's just a matter of working. What do you think it is that our communities need in order for us to build a more loving community amongst us? Because
I'm gonna tell you what it
yes.
is. It take a person like me. Like I said, many call, only a few are chosen. It take a person like me that the government had to put money behind me. They will listen to me more than would anybody else, because I don't talk it, I walk it. And if you're able to see what it is, you're able to acknowledge what's going on in life. You know, it's so many people out here self-destruction, and they're looking at the downside of everything, and don't nothing make no sense to them. They don't have no nobody to look up to. You know, I was first filmed my movie. I went down to Fresno in the worstest part of town. I had 3 people with me that never been in Fresno before. I had a white guy, I had my producer, and I had myself. I rode through there in a brand new Rolls Royce with $1 million worth of jewelry on, in the worstest part of Fresno. But I'm from Fresno. Everybody know how I carry it. So do you know I had all the killers, the robbers, and everything right there on that corner? Must have been 70 of them. Didn't have no problem at all. So you have to have somebody that's that has something going on in their life in order for ignorance to listen to, because they admire that. So
Yes.
it takes somebody like me to make people listen. But the smart as the state, smart as the government, they don't have enough sense to see that. They're trying to do it themselves. They're not going to respect the law or none of that. There's too much corruption going on. It had to have somebody like me that's been winning, that people look up to and respect, in order to bring some voice to make them understand what's right and what's wrong. Then they will listen.
Amen to that. Amen to that. And I completely agree with you on that. I always tell people, like, there's so much like grants and scholarships and all kinds of good, funds that are out there that the government's willing to provide to people. They just got to come up with ideas to go out there and implement them. But even then, you still need to create some teams, because if the vision is big enough, you're gonna get people, and it will turn into that snowball effect. So my question to you now is, do you have any kind of philanthropic work that we can go to and help support? And can you provide us a link with that as well? And that way your viewers can go out there and also help with any kind of organizations that you might be helping, that you feel could actually help our country move forward when it comes, obviously, to morals and reasoning and just helping the community in general.
You know, I have a lot of association with everything, but you got to realize one thing: this is a capitalism country, and
Very true.
they do not care what happens as long as they win it.
That's true.
That's where the problem is coming from. Sure, I have links, not the links, but I have connection with people that's doing things with the city right here in Sacramento, and they're not making it work because they
That is
don't.
so true. I think
Come in. It takes a little money to put people in the right perspective. They don't care about the drama. That's where the money comes from. Where do you think wars come from? Wars be created to gain money. Capitalism.
that's
So
true.
it's the same thing in the
It's
city.
capitalism.
So it'd be kind of hard, you know. It takes some real fine power, like you say. I agree with that. I would go along. I would get a staff, show them, tell them what to do, and we create something from there. Unity brings power, and you have to create that, you know.
Yeah, but throughout all these years, it's always been music, and it's such a passion of mine that I said, you know what, Ileana, like, you need to go out there and just spread that joy to other children, because right now you got children listening to music that they should not be listening to, that's recreated with bop, and they're listening to it like it's a kid's song, but they're teaching them to how to be little thotties, and it's like, no, I don't want my 8-year-old daughter listening to this, and I personally feel that if we go out there as communities and create something beautiful, I really think we could change an entire nation. Now, my dream is to be out there just making music with kids, and it sounds crazy to so many, but at the same time, I'm just like, no, I think that anything that we think of can be possible.
Say you got an excellent idea, but you know how long that would take? That would take years.
A couple of years.
It's like starting all over again. You know, you got to get to the kids, this babies now. It might take 20, 30 years to create and turn that around. Take, for instance, you remember when weed was a felony, right?
Yes.
Now it's everywhere. Police smoking weed. They riding their cars smoking weed. It's all legal. Guess where it come from? Guess where that come from? It came from music. People being on TV, they pushed that on TV and smoking weed on stage with music. That's where everybody started smoking weed from.
I never knew that.
They was dibbing and dabbing all along, but it was hiding it. But it's open season now. Everywhere you look on TV,
yeah, Snoop, he made it good. They
smoking weed, you know.
Snoop made it good for us.
And power challenged the system. Now the whole United States is smoking weed and riding down the street in front of the police. When it used to be a felony, they kept one joint. You go do 6 years for one joint. So
I've heard of cases that have gone even further than that. Personally, I think that should be overturned. Anything that has been overturned, I think that these cases should just be closed and these people should be let out. But that's my personal opinion. Although that's a whole nother conversation,
So we got about 5 or 10 minutes, sis. So ask him your ending questions, and then we're gonna let him end it. And it was a wonderful interview.
Thank you. It was. Now, my last question to you is, who are 3 of the most influential people that have made a change in your life?
Me. Because my experiences in life made a change in my life. My confidence I have in myself made a change in my life. I never was a follower, I was a leader. So I have to say me. Watching other people, yes. Watching other people created something better for me. You know, just like when Muhammad Ali come in, became the world champ, he watched somebody else. So you enhance whatever you see someone else do. You got to have personal style, so you mix yours, whatever you know, with theirs, and you create a monster.
Your own, yes. Well, I guess that was it. That was my last question. It has been an absolute pleasure talking to you, an honor talking to you. I look forward to reading your book, and hopefully I will eventually get you for some designs for clothing, because I'm also a fashion designer myself. So I look forward to meeting with you at some point and just chatting away in person. But thank you so much for having me tonight and for giving us the opportunity to speak to you as well.
Okay, it's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Is there anything you want to tell the people before we go?
Well, tell the people keep watching something positive. Leave all the negativity out of it. Use your own mind. Stop following ignorance, because ignorance is what's going to get you in trouble. Don't forget, slips don't count until you fall. Once you fall, you may not be able to get up.
Amen. And we out.
Amen. Amen.
One.